get done here?
We're going to have a lot to do next year. Yeah, we want to get our report card done. I don't have the whole list in front of me. We want the FIT to get done. I don't know if the severance tax will be done in lame duck. Don't know yet. But it's critical we get the report card done because the report card is connected to the waiver we got from No Child Left Behind. I really haven't focused on all the issues, but we can give you an update on that and what our problem. We want everything, really, but we don't get everything. That's what we want. So.
Speaking of report cards, I know there's been a couple of school districts around the state that have had some issues with reporting some false information. It's being looked into. I guess just your thoughts on that.
Well, the superintendent knows how strongly I feel about it. I've talked personally to the president of the state school board and the vice chairman of the state school board. We have to get to the bottom of it. You can't be manipulating data to make yourself look better than you are, particularly when you're trying to teach ethics to students. So, we'll see where this all goes. I don't want to draw any conclusions yet, although I think they're trying to get to the bottom of it. But somebody with the Superintendent's Association said, well, you just have to understand the pressure we're under. Well, what is the message to a student? Like, you can't understand the pressure I'm under to go to a good college or to get a scholarship? I mean, that's a bad statement. And the fact of the matter is, get to the bottom of it, and if you're not playing by the rules, then you're ripping off the school districts that are. So we got to get to the bottom of it, not draw any complete conclusions till the investigations are done. I encourage the board to move forward. That's why I called the president of the school board and the vice chairman. David Yost is doing his thing, and we need to find out where it is and get it resolved quickly, because it has the potential to create real credibility problems in the minds of the public. And that's not good for students. Because remember, education is for students, for kids. It isn't for adults.
Now that it's been a little bit of time since the tragedy in Colorado, with your involvement in the assault weapons ban when you were in Congress, with the shooting in Colorado, should that spark another conversation about a
No, I've been there already. That ban actually was of very little use. And look, the problem that we have is, let's get to the basics of the violence. I mean, it's issues that surround, some things like mental illness. We don't know the full story with this guy, but look, you can go out and try to put all the bans on you want. If people are intent on doing something, they're going to do it, and it begins to erode the ability of law-abiding people to be able to be part of the Second Amendment. So I don't think that's where this discussion is right now. I think this is a discussion about how and why and what was this guy's state of mind and why I don't know all that, but I don't think we're now in any sort of a gun control phase on this.
Can I go back to the schools really quickly? Do you think the superintendents in any of those districts should be looked at, maybe consider stepping down?
Well, let's let it take its place. I mean, I don't think we should. I'm certainly not going to jump in and draw a conclusion until all the evidence is in. I don't like that. I mean, any more than I'd like to draw a conclusion before I know the full facts about something you've done. So let's let it all play out, and then we'll see where we are.
It looks like the legislature might actually get pension reform done this year. What are your priorities in that process? How do you want to see that come out? What kind of a bill would you like to see on your desk?
Well, one that everybody's in support of.
So
any thoughts on the timeline for getting that bill done?
No, I have not.
And the Holocaust Memorial comes up today. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's really fantastic. I mean, the Holocaust Memorial is designed to do a couple things. It's to tell people about courage. It's to tell people about standing up. It is about a Holocaust that we saw, the horrific Holocaust, but, man's inhumanity to man, whether it's Rwanda or Sudan, it goes on. And when people to visit the State House, I want them to be inspired that by their standing up, they can make a difference in the way the world turns. And it's clear we need that. I mean, you can't be silent. If you're silent, evil can be successful. So if you stand up and you fight for principles that are consistent to humanity, that are a reflection of Old and New Testament, it's fantastic. This is a memorial that is designed to tell people fundamentally about courage, about the need to stand up, to be counted, and not let evil prevail. And that's why it's so important. And I'm really, really excited about the fact that we're going to have a memorial. There's been improved cooperation with all parties involved, and we're going to get it done.
Governor, you mentioned again next year's goal of further tax reform. Do you care to speculate or talk about a goal as to how big of a whack you want to take at it?
No.
Are you looking at another income tax cut in addition to the severance tax plan?
We're always working to figure out how to lower the income tax, and it will involve tax reform, but I'm not going to tell you what I've got until I know exactly what I have, and setting goals and all that. Then the next question is, in 6 months, well, you didn't meet your goal, so no, I'm not going to do that. I will give you a plan, but you got to remember, a 5.9% income tax is ridiculously high for our state, and you add in the local income taxes, and it is a tremendous impediment to business growth, to job creation. So we have to always work to get this done, and the severance tax is a part of it. I mean, you lower the income tax, you are helping small businesses, farmers, restaurateurs, all these folks, and we need to have the jobs because the jobs provide the revenue, and the revenue lifts all boats in our communities. So we're going to be working on it. The reason why I don't want to tell you all that it is yet is because it's not done. It's all being examined comprehensively. I can tell you when we engage in tax reform, there will be a lot of squeals and a lot of howls from people that want to be for the status quo. But the status quo is not acceptable in Ohio. I think we should be learning that over the last year and a half, that change can bring great things. And I mean, to go from oblivion to the #1 job creator in the Midwest and #4 in the country, that's pretty darn good. A lot of families, 111,300 jobs. You can fill Ohio Stadium with that. And when you add in, like, a lot of families, 3 other people, you're talking almost 500,000 people in Ohio who are better off as a result of practicing a policy of lower taxes, less regulation, and government strong where it ought to be, but not where, and taking it out of where it shouldn't be. So I'll tell you one other thing. I'll tell you one other thing I've been thinking about lately.